welcome to today's episode. This week we have been discussing the topic of memories, which is something that I know people have really struggled with over the last 12 months. I met my partner 3 days before the first lockdown in March 2020, and so we've had to do things really differently in terms of not being able to go on some of those traditional dates and making memories in that way. So for me, I'm really looking forward to the point where we can get out and have days out and weekends away and be able to kind of do that side of our relationship that we haven't got the chance to yet. But until then, what I've done is I've brought in our special guest for this week, which is Jackie Robinson, and she's going to give us a couple of hints and tips around her methods for creating memories. So hello, Jackie.
Hello, Gemma. Thank you for inviting me on. I think it's great that you brought this topic because actually you don't often see this in the wellbeing arena. So I was delighted when you asked me to talk about this because I'm quite passionate about making memories and actually thinking about it, because we all think, well, we make memories naturally, but actually I think you have to put a lot more thought into it, especially at this present time.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Absolutely, you're very welcome. So Jackie, just for people that don't know you, could you tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Sure, yeah. As you said, I'm Jackie Robinson, and I set up my business 3 years ago. It's called The Balance Approach, and I'm a qualified holistic therapist and a qualified counsellor. So with those two things in mind, it was all about well-being and providing a wraparound service for corporate business, to the employees, and to charities and school. So I did this by organising wellbeing training days, and I took employees and people from charities out of the workplace, so to speak, and I collaborated with lots of people, Gemma, you being one of them, and we delivered a full day, which included so many areas of wellbeing. It's a massive topic, isn't it? And every single person you ask will have a different answer what well-being is, and each one is correct. So for me, well-being is about being happy. If I'm happy, then I'm going to be well. So for different people it's different things. So the wraparound service is looking at your financial health. Do you need help financially? Looking at nutrition, doing things naturally and not just relying on traditional, not traditional medicine, conventional medicine, help ourselves. So yeah, since COVID, on the 23rd of March, which is exactly a year today, so it's our anniversary, we made it. We made it through a year of lockdowns and for all of us, I think it's been a difficult time, but also a time where we could have made memories, and we have made memories. Some are good and some are bad, and some that we can learn from. So yeah, my business has gone a little bit in a different way. Is that I did a large contract for a charity that looks after the well-being of BAME communities in Blackburn, and absolutely loved it. I really did, and I recognise that some areas, some communities were suffering more than others. So that is why I've set up another leg to my business, which is called the Balanced Community Approach, CIC. So that's a community interest company, which I'll be looking at getting funding for those communities as well.
Oh, wow. So how did you get into this world of well-being?
Well, it probably sounds like a bit of a sad story, but actually it's not. My friend got breast cancer, and that was possibly 9 years ago, no, longer than that, 14, 15 years ago. And, I just got into thinking about ways that she could help herself on Google and looking for different alternative methods. I also I really got into the Ayurvedic ways of looking after your health. So I was already interested, but I got into it a little bit more. And I think it did help my friend, and anyway, she outlived prognosis by 5 years, and had a really nice life. She didn't survive, but actually she made amazing memories for all of us. So I really got into it. So I decided that I would train as an holistic therapist. I was working as a housing manager, social housing, part-time. So I trained as a holistic therapist and qualified. And I also trained as a counsellor. And this has just evolved. I never set out to start this business. It wasn't like, that's what I'm going to do. It has just evolved, and will continue to evolve as I go on. So yeah, that was basically how it started.
No, that's brilliant. So can you tell me a little bit more then about your kind of approaches to making memories?
Right. So I actually do courses within my training program that are just focused around making memories. So we don't often think about that topic, about making memories. We just think about the memories we've made, whether we're looking at photographs or Facebook memories, which I love, by the way. Whatever people think about Facebook, the Facebook memories are amazing, because we don't always remember every specific thing until we're jolted. So it's really important to bring back those happy memories and those feelings, that you get when you see a happy memory. So one of the courses is just a very simple method. All my methods are actually very simple and very easy to do. So I've actually, one of the things that I do is a memory jar. Okay. Yeah, I know. You can actually make your own with any kind of I like glass jars, and you can actually paint them, which is another way of making a memory. Get your friends together, or your family, or do your kids. Doing crafts is another way of making memories. So you can actually do it. Actually, this was a bought one, but I have done classes where we actually do stained glass ones, or you can get glass paint, just doing it on a jar. So what you do, this has got a little slit in the top, but actually you can just undo it. And every single day you put in a memory in the jar. At the end of the month, you empty your jar of memories and you look through them with the family or with friends. And actually, you might have thought a month has passed so quickly. I don't know about you. By the end of March, thinking, where did that month go? But actually, you look through, you realise what memories you've made. You're actually actively thinking about it. When you're actively thinking about making a memory or what memory you've done, you want to do more of it. You think, I don't want a month where I've done nothing. So actually you start planning. You actually have to plan these memories. So the memories I did with my son, I live alone with my 17-year-old son. And the things we did or could do were like going for walks, and every single day we would go for a different walk. And sometimes we had less time than others, but we would do that, and we would do it in a different place. I mean, we were restricted, weren't we, where we could go, but actually we just did a different route every time. So those are the things, just simple things like that, without putting too much pressure on yourself, that you can do. Baking cakes are wonderful. Everyone loves, not everybody, but making cakes, actually making the cakes, putting the goodness in, or making a really healthy meal. That's something, I'll just pop that down, something that's that I've really enjoyed in the last year is cooking and having the time for cooking, but cooking really healthy meals and really thinking about it. So actually planning those meals. Some people might already do that anyway, but you plan the meals and you put a lot of love and gratitude into that meal. So in the past, you would say grace before a meal and actually think about the meal and be grateful for it. And actually, that is a wonderful thing. The food is a big thing for me. So it's actually appreciating the little things that we take for granted, and most of us do, don't we? And being creative, spicy foods and things like that. That's just another way that you can do things. But crafts are another way. A lot of my friends have taken up knitting, for example. At one time, they were like, crikey, that's dull, but actually really isn't, because you can really focus your mindset. And what it does is changing a mindset. And I am focusing on this year because we're on an anniversary, that a lot of people have had a great deal of fog. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of pressure put on us. Health and wellness being top priority. Financially, for myself, my business was more or less gone financially. I did a lot, but I did most for free. So financially, that was a problem. So a lot of people have suffered a lot of things. So we need to take ourselves away from thinking about our problems, and thinking, just giving us, I like to think an hour every day on focusing on making memories. And it doesn't matter what you do, it's what you like doing. And if it's reading, I love reading, but then there can be months where I don't do any reading because my mindset is too foggy. I can't think, I can't concentrate. But actually, if you get a group of friends together who like reading, or family members, or just get as many people involved. Now we've got Zoom, there's no excuse really. You don't have to go to a place, even though that would be my preference, but actually you can go to Zoom and say, right, today we're going to read, or this week or this month, probably not put too much pressure on yourself, this month we're going to read this book and we're going to discuss it. So actually motivates you to think, crikey, we're discussing this at the end of the month, I've got to finish this book. And you're thinking about the questions and you're thinking more deeply about that book instead of reading the book and actually your mind's drifting off to other things that you shouldn't be, but actually you're really thinking about the book and you're really thinking of what you're learning from it. A lot of people I've been watching more TV. Now that sounds like a bad, unhealthy thing, but actually it's not, because Netflix, there's so many documentaries about so many different things. This weekend, I watched a documentary which had been on TV, but I hadn't caught it, and it was Roman Kemp. He's a radio DJ, but Martin Kemp's his dad. But he lost his friend through suicide, and he did a documentary. So me and my son, my 17-year-old son, watched it. It was about groups of young people asking the question, why did this happen to my friend? He was a class clown, he was whatever. But actually, thinking about it, and then through that, my son, he would never have done this, he sent a text to every single one of his close friends asking if they were okay, how is their mental health. He got a few strange answers like, yeah, it's all right, thanks, thinking, why are you asking that? But actually there were a couple of his friends who said, actually, I'm not doing so great, and which would never have happened. It would never have opened that door. So even that, we're talking about a memory, what a memory can do for you. You're making a memory by, we will always remember watching that documentary together and the impact that it had. So memories are lots of things. It's not always going out for a lovely meal and having a nice evening with family and friends or whatever, but it can be lots of different memories, and there's so many. But it's about sitting down and thinking, I'm going to make a memory every single day. Don't put pressure on yourself that you have to do something absolutely spectacular, but it's about spending time, quality time, in my opinion.
No, yeah. That's fantastic, thank you very much. I do a lot of work with individuals who've been through trauma, and with trauma, obviously accessing memories is quite difficult. Can you give any kind of hints or tips around kind of helping people to engage with that a little bit more?
Yeah, I also work with people with my counselling who extreme trauma, and a lot of memories bring back, these memory makings might trigger bad memories. So you do have to be quite careful. So what I do with this is actually vision boards, and a vision board. I love doing these, and I do them as often as I can, because my visions change. Every 6 months. I get more excitable about the next project I have, not necessarily work, but so a vision board, for those that don't know, just get yourself a piece of card, or pick whatever you've got, however big you want this vision board. I would suggest a hard piece of card so you can actually hang it up. Any magazines, or if you've got photographs, that will trigger good memories, then that's good as well. But generally magazines I would go for. For me, it's generally travel magazines or nature books, because I'm very much into nature. And I would recommend these things. Nature is very big thing for triggering good memories generally, because we are all energy, and nature particularly, you've got masses of energy. As you're walking, as I go for my walks every day, my mood just changes within minutes. And your energy, it doesn't matter if it's pouring down with rain. I prefer it to be sunny, to be there. You are changing your mood, because it's all these different things: color therapy, energy, the sounds, all your senses. This is what you've got to engage in. So going back to the vision board, what you need to do is, when you're looking through these magazines, just pick anything random. I've done these with groups before. It's amazing what comes out. I've even had somebody who had clipped a picture of a Hoover, but you think, oh, that wouldn't create good memories for me cleaning. But actually, that's what makes her happy, having her house spotless. So one of these fancy vacuum cleaners that you can get. That was her vision. She was going to get one of these. So it can be that simple. For me, it was more traveling, going to beaches, doing things outside, but it can be anything. So once you put that vision, what you are thinking, what is it that it makes me happy? What will change my focus, change my mindset to a really positive one? And by doing that, you are raising the vibration. And also we use the law of attraction methods, NLP. These are all sort of methods that I use in my courses. Law of attraction, again, it's about visualizing you actually being in that place, making that memory, whether it's, I don't know, going to Barbados for your holidays, or forget that for now, but going camping. These are all things that are easy to access, or even simply going for a long walk with the people you care about, taking a picnic. We can all do that. It doesn't have to make lots of money, but putting them on the board, you've already set that in alignment in your head. That's what you want to do. You've never really thought about that before. Actually, that is what will make you happy. And that is something so simple that you can do. So by putting it on that vision board, and then I would suggest hanging it somewhere, generally in the kitchen where you spend most of your time, or I do anyway, or wherever. It could be anywhere where you will see it. It will just trigger happy and good thoughts and help you make it happen. Law of attraction, when you visualize it, you can see yourself doing it will happen. Some people would think with law of attraction you have to attract abundance, money. Well, yeah, that's okay if you want to do that, but also you have to remember what that will bring with it. Working very, very long hours and all these kind of things. You've got to measure it with what you have to put in to get that. So if that's going for a walk, I don't take a huge effort. It depends where you live. I'm lucky, I've got fields and walking area at the back. You might have to go somewhere to do that walking. Even walking around, I love walking around cities. It doesn't matter where you are. You can create those memories. And also you'll be thinking then, what is it that's going to create the happy memories so that it won't trigger anything that, that's traumatic to you. But that's another method that I really recommend. Anyone can do it anywhere, just a bit of glue, sellotape or whatever you've got, or you can paint the pictures or draw pictures, just what materials you've got, and you can do it anytime. And it's we're all different learners. I'm a visual learner, which this is very good for visual learners. Everyone's different, or listening. You may want to do podcasts. That's making a memory. A really good podcast when you're driving somewhere. I like doing that, but I'm more of a visual learner. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you. So where can sort of people find out a little bit more about you, find out about what you do?
Okay, so my website is www.thebalanceapproach.com. And you can get hold of me at Jackie, Jackie, at thebalanceapproach.com. And from that, make contact with me. We can do a Zoom. I do mainly groups. To be honest, that's my area of focus. So if you're doing community things and you want to focus on well-being, I collaborate with lots of different people. I'm a massive believer in collaboration. I don't do it all. I'm not a speciality in everything. Gemma, your speciality is resilience. Again, very big on resilience. So I collaborate with lots of different people, and I think we need to hear different voices to raise the energies, and that's really important. We all need to be working together to get through this, and hopefully we'll come out of this better than we ever were before, no matter how difficult it's been. And it really has been difficult. And for some, it's been a lot worse. Today is the National Day of Reflection and Resilience and grieving. Let yourself grieve if you have lost people. And it doesn't matter whether it's to COVID or not. You've not been able to grieve those people. You've not possibly even been able to go to the funeral. These things are really impactful. It's all part of the trauma. So my advice to you is allow yourself the time. It's not a bad thing. You don't have to be so tough. Resilience does not mean being so tough that you forget all about it. It's about knowing how to handle it so that in later life it won't affect you. But yeah. It's been a joy as always, Gemma. Thank you very much for inviting me. I've enjoyed it.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you for your time, Jackie. If you have any questions for Jackie, she's given you some information on how to get in touch. You can also leave a comment below and I'll make sure that gets passed across. Please please subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.
Thank you.